Hey everybody, Richard Maud from VEMA Trader here, founder of VEMA Trader, and joined by Mr. Michael Lachlan, who's one of our senior developers here on the at the team. In fact, he was employee #1 and has a pen that has VEMA Trader #1 on it. Stole my #1 spot, but he is the best, so he can have that happy #1. Rightio, so if you have any questions tonight, please put them into the chat or unmute yourself and feel free to say hi, put it into the chat or into the, what's that other word I'm looking for called? The Q&A section as well. Just unmute yourself if you ever have anything. I'm going to unmute the rest of the people who have just joined. And there we go. Rightio. So let's see, you're here to see VEMA Trader. Let's check it out. Or let's give the first intro spiel of what is VEMA Trader first off. So back in 2017, when I first got into cryptocurrency trading, I was learning from a group called MBA Trading Academy how to do different style of trading, set your alerts in TradingView, what position sizing and risk management was. And all these alerts would come across because the market is 24/7. It would come at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. while I'm asleep or while I was changing my daughter's nappy or driving in a car or something. There's nothing really you could really do about that. Hey, world, pause so I can trade, please. And so I started coming up with an idea of how to make trading a lot easier and make me stick to my rules. And so VEMA Trader is a trading platform that improves your performance through inbuilt risk management, automated conditional entries, integrated journaling, and data analysis. And when you start to use VEMA Trader for your trading, you'll find that it frees up a lot of your time because you can just set and forget and walk away, and it frees up your time to go focus on other things and really take some motion out of the whole trading game. So if you've ever found yourself lacking time, I need to jump on and do some charting today to get my 10 charts a day practice in, but you just don't have the time to pull it off, or the alert goes off and you just can't get to it back in time. If you've ever found that you had some bad disciplinary habits, sticking to your trade plan, not sticking to your risk rules. Hey, it's hit my take profit. I reckon it's going to go further, and just letting it go instead of just getting out where your exit point was, or even, it's going down. I'll just move my stop loss because my RSI is very low, a little further. Everything was correct, I'm sure of it. If you were like me and trading for a long time and were not using your data analysis, because why would you need to do that? You're making money, aren't you? That's the aim of the game. Your account goes up and to the right. That's all you care about. And if you found that you were jumping between so many tools when you're trying to do all of your trading, it's another thing that really got me about trading was, you'd get this alert that would say, take action now. And you'd be switching from TradingView, your exchange account, your position sizing calculator, and your trade journal, trying to juggle all these things where if you make a single typo, it can cost you a lot of money. So then you want to be checking out VEMA Trader. It'll help you save a lot of time because you'll be able to set and forget. It reduces the stress and anxiety of seeing your position sizes all the time, or, oh no, I must take action when it happens, or what am I up to at the time? It takes a lot of the emotion out of trading. I've personally found that I'm very much more disconnected from my trading account and can just focus on the technical analysis itself. It encourages really good habits in you because a lot of the habits that are bad habits, we just don't let you do them inside of VEMA, which is pretty great. And it allows you to track what things you are doing wrong, as I'll be going through pretty soon. And what I really love is that it does it all in one single platform. So when something happened with a particular exchange and everyone goes, crap, let's jump from that exchange to another one. The UI is different. Everything feels strange over here. The button that was over there is over there, and it just looks a bit weird, and the symbols are all differently named. That's a kind of a frustrating thing. When we use in VEMA Trader, the way our vision has always been one platform that integrates with all the exchanges, and it's exactly the same across all of them. Doesn't matter which exchange you're using. Then, hey, cool, you want to be coming to check out VEMA Trader to see how you can continuously improve. See, VEMA Trader, the name of VEMA is actually an acronym for visualize, execute, monitor, and analyze. We want you to be seeing that as a continuous improvement cycle. As you visualize your strategies, have VEMA execute them, you monitor them while they're going. Over time, you build up a trade history of what you've been doing. You analyze that to be able to do better visualizations, better executions, better monitoring. Now you've got more data. You can see how you're improving and how you're applying what you've been learning over time. So a lot of customers, or not a lot, some of our customers will find that they are not journaling. And I reach out to them and be, hey, you're not journaling. That's really, really strange. But here's the benefits that you get out of journaling. We've got the data to show it as well. well. Our customers are absolutely loving it. So I'm very passionate about VEMA Trader because I've been working on it for so long. I have complete bias that it's a great product. And so it's really awesome to hear from our customers who say, actually, it really, really, really is amazing. Hey, I know we've actually got a customer on the line here at the moment. I'm going to just ask her if she can jump on for a second. Hey, Anthea, I'm asking you to unmute, sending you that button. How are you doing?
I'm good, Richard. How are you?
I'm really, really well. I'm really, really well. I've never really jumped on and said, hey, let's have a live customer call on one of these demos before. So I hope you've got nice things to say. How are you finding VEMA Trader going, Anthea?
I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. As you said, my biggest issue, obviously being so busy with my own personal training business and the rest, trying to put those, the alerts will go off and you can see them going off on your phone or your watch, and you just can't place them. So it's good to know that you can easily program everything in that you need to with your rules. So you still need to have good technical analysis, but as soon as you know that, then the rest is so easy, and it executes perfectly. It's definitely made me a profitable trader. So that's which is what I want to do. I want to move away from this and then move into something else, which is more trading. Yeah.
That's fantastic to hear. So you had a ripper of a trade last week. Was it like 18 to 1?
Yeah, I had an 18 to 1 trade.
Nice. What were you doing while you would have done the setup? And then did you have to, when you got the alert that said, hey, it's time to take action, VEMA had kind of already taken action, or did you have to start time to go and look at stuff?
So I could see, as I do, I always jump on to at least the 4-hour closes. I could see that I had a ascending triangle, I think it was. Hang on, sweetie. I'm always working. Had an ascending just in the room. I'm still on the phone. Had an ascending triangle, and I knew that was playing out, and all I did was set the trigger to, if it closed otherwise above, then it would obviously trigger to long, and then if it was going to close below, I could trigger for a short. So you're setting up 2 options, which at that time you're not quite sure which way it's going to go, and when it does, it just happened to do what it does. You can catch those trades easily. So yeah, as long as you plug in the rules, and it did everything exactly how I wanted it to. So yeah.
Nice. And it paid off pretty well too. I like that you were able to set up both long and short on that one as well. Like, hey, whichever way this thing breaks, I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Have you checked out break and retest yet?
I have had a little bit of a privilege of playing with it, yes. And I do trade that way a lot. So this is going to make it, I'm really looking forward to doing this. So yeah, nice. I can't wait to play with it more.
Kick ass. All right. Well, thank you very much, Anthea. Love hearing from customers. Anthea has also been writing a few blog posts for us as well, which is they're really, really awesome. I really like your blog posts. I'm looking forward to releasing more of those. Yeah, cool. So customers are really happy about it, about the product. So let's actually jump over to the product itself instead of me talking about it. I want to press this button and then this one. So here we are. We're looking at my live trading account. We're going to ignore this screen for the moment and come back to it in a second. I'm going to go straight up to the top right-hand corner and click on Start Charting. And so inside of here, this is where you get your lovely trading view, which you're already familiar with. I'm going to start off with a brand new chart here. I forgot to remove things. You're going to see a bit extra of what we've got going. So we integrate currently with BitMEX and FTX. OKX is in progress. ETA for that is next week, if everything goes according to plan. And we've clearly been experimenting with Binance as well. So I'm going to jump over to my exchange and FTX. And then that will go ahead and pick on whichever symbol that I'd like. So if you've got lots of different symbols you'd like to be looking for, you can go ahead and click on the trading pair and then click on the little star next to it to add them to your favorites. So that way they'll always be up the top, but we'll always default ourselves to be showing Bitcoin there for you. So I'm going to, Bitcoin's is got a lovely thing going on at the moment. So I'm going to have a look at it. I am going to quickly do some quick regular TA. I can see that we've got a support support, resistance level going on up there. I can see a support level down here at about 28,000. And it looks like if we were to go down to a smaller time frame, it looks like we might even have ourselves a sideways wedge coming along here as well. But this is on the 4 hour. So I'm going to jump down to the 1 hour chart and start to play a little more here. Rightio. So on the 1 hour chart, I am going to, you know what, let's get rid of some of these things and start to just draw in some VEMA triggers. So while you're using regular trading view to do all of these things, when you want VEMA to see a particular piece, this is an action line, you come up to the left-hand side and click on add trigger. Now I can see that we've had what looks like a resistance there and a resistance here, and we're coming towards the end of our wedge. So I'm feeling like I want to put a resistance line right here. And if we get a break above this line, if we get price closing above alpha, I think that we're going to continue on up and keep on going up higher. And so I'll put my target up there. Now, in this case here, I'm just doing some really quick TA. The idea here is to show you what VEMA can do as opposed to let's learn technical analysis. I am assuming that you do know what most of these terms I'm using are. If you don't, I'm happy to do a different Zoom session with you and run you through those. All right, so what I did then is I clicked on add setup, and then I'm going to say I want to go with my alpha trigger. I'd like to go long if price crosses. You see we had a number of different strategies there. If price crosses and gets above the alpha line, I want VEMA to take action. So these are the stop loss I'll put here, and my take profit is up there at that point there. So that now gives me a really quick, fast 3.7 to 1 risk to reward. So what we can do there is say, well, what happens? What I don't want to have happen is if I move my alpha line up a little bit more, just go here, there we go. We can see at this point what happened is we had a wick that came up and then came back down. If that happens again here on my alpha trend line, I don't want to actually take an entry until we have got price very clearly on this time frame closing above that alpha line. And so I'm just going to quickly move that take profit up a little higher, and the stop loss can come in about here-ish. There we go, give me a 4.2 to 1. But so at the moment, what VEMA is going to do is it's going to be monitoring price in real time. As soon as price goes above the alpha trend line, it's going to take the entry straight away. And if you might say, well, what position size is it going to use? We'll get to that in a second. So what I can do is I'll say, I'll have an operator on candle close. So now VEMA will say, I'm only going to monitor this once every hour because you were on the 1 hour chart. If I switch to the 4 hour, it'll monitor it once every 4 hours. So what that's going to say is I must see the price close above this alpha. If we get a wick that goes up and comes back down and then price closes down here, VEMA's going to go, look, that's not a close above alpha, so I'm not even going to take it. So that way we can be more happy with our entry with it being above the alpha line. And then the other thing I can do is I can add a condition here and add an expiry date. So if this doesn't happen by, let's say, around this part, it looks like we've got this lovely ascending trend line, uptrend happening here. So if we don't get the break by the end of this wedge here, this ascending triangle, I'm going to say just cancel the trade plan and stop monitoring at that point. So I did that by clicking on add conditions, expiry date, and then that gives me this, this line on the chart that I can just drag around. And you'll see we've tried to make everything as visual as possible inside of VEMA. So when you interact with the chart, it's actually populating the value over on the left-hand side. So I'll push this over to the end of the wedge. And now we come into the risk management section here, and in here it says, well, which exchange account do you want to use? Yes, it's on FTX, but I've got a number of different FTX sub accounts going on. So I'm going to pick on my VEMA Trader sub account. I'm going to say risk 1% of my account, and you'll see here that the stop loss and the take profit, they're both reading from the chart as well. So if we look here, I've got my take profit of a value of 31554. If I move my take profit around, you'll see that the left-hand panel updates itself as well. So I don't have to go typing in things. I can just visually make it happen on the chart, and on the left-hand side, everything's going to fill in for me. So that gets rid of all my fat finger issues. Now the stop loss here, I'm going to move it a little bit lower because what I'm looking at is right here and look at about this area. I kind of want to put my stop loss just below those pieces of structure. So as I change that, that updates my risk to reward, and that's going to change my updates the risk to reward. It's also going to change my estimated position size. So you'll see here that VEMA is saying to enter this position, I'm going to need about 63% of your account margin. Now I've only got 2x leverage on FTX, so I am also excited for OKX coming next week. Huzzah! We can see where it thinks the entry price is going to be at the trigger line. It's automatically figured out what leverage it's going to need and what position size it's going to need. Now, based on my 1% of my account, if I lose this trade, I'm going to lose $90. And if I was to win this, then it's going to hit $227. So if you come up here and change the account risk percent to, let's say, 5%, VEMA's going to say, hey, actually, you can't pull this off because you don't have enough margin for that. So it's going to tell me that it can't do it. Hey, I'm going to move my stop loss down to try and shut that error up. There we go. Just so I can make that this position size work. So VEMA's going to figure out, look, if you've got a ridiculously tight stop loss and you don't have the leverage for it, I can't even help you with that. So the automatic position sizing is absolutely awesome. And so now, because I've increased my stop loss, my minimum risk account risk percent to 2, now it's going to figure out, look, that's your position size, that's your leverage, 90 times 2 is 180, and my P&L gain has gone smaller. You might be saying, why did the P&L gain go smaller if your risk to reward, or if you just changed your account risk percent? That's because I actually moved my stop loss to be much further down. When I did that, my risk to reward now becomes pretty crap at 0.91. So if I move my take profit up, that's going to increase the risk to reward, and so my P&L gain is going to go up. The cool part is VEMA just does all of that math for you. And so you don't even have to think about it. The default, as we already saw there, was 1% already pre-filled in, and then you just move your take profit and your stop loss into position, and VEMA says, great, I'll make the math work for you so that all happens. So when I'm trading now, I actually don't ever come into this section and look at the risk reward or position size. I just know VEMA is going to take care of it for me, which is awesome. And so with that, there's some other options that we've got here. So I could say, no matter where the entry was, I could say the take profit target should be 5% away from my entry. Now that's going to go ahead and move that up here. And the reason you might want to do that, as opposed to putting a specific value in there, is because I have got my operate on candle close, and I'm saying VEMA should always check once every 1 hour where the price is and has it broken my alpha line. What happens if price was to enter, let's say, way up here, and I had my stop loss at this level and my take profit at this level here? Now you might go, hang on, you've got it when you cross the alpha line. Well, I've actually given it a range here because it's operate on candle close. If it happens to close all the way up here, that's going to give my risk to reward a pretty crappy run going on there, which gives it a 0.93. That's not exactly great. So I've got a minimum risk to reward over on the left-hand side here of 2. So if I've got a setup happening, and when VEMA says it's time for me to take entry, and VEMA looks at it and says, your minimum risk to reward is a 2, but based on where your take profit and stop loss are, that's actually going to be a 0.93 to 1 trade. VEMA is just going to say, stuff it. I'm not even going to take that. I'm going to cancel this scenario, send you an email and say your minimum risk to reward sucked. So that's going to save me from a really, really bad entry, which is quite wonderful. So I'm going to start cleaning up some of these drawings. I usually wouldn't draw on my chart so much, but hey, there's lots going on here. And so if I move my entry price or my TPSL tool, my entry down to about here, there's where we can roughly see price must close within this range here for VEMA to go ahead and take the entry, looking at the risk to reward of 2.06. So there's a really, really handy thing of VEMA. It's going to say the wick will not take an entry and it must get a close in a pretty good area. If it doesn't give a very good close, then VEMA is just going to stuff it off. So quickly skipping over into a few more things, I'm going to come back to this stop loss strategy for you in another time. What I want to always be doing is journaling. Journaling is ridiculously important. If you are not journaling and you're trading, you're doing it wrong. You're going to find out that you become immensely more profitable when you leave yourself notes and you can explain what you're looking for and you can come back and review what you were looking for. It really, really does help with your analysis. So I'm going to make a really, really quick one here. Ascending wedge forming with BTC in a longer term sideways channel. Expecting a break to the upside if we get a close of alpha. All right, so then in the tags here, I can add as many tags as I'd like to go for. So I know that we are long-term in a channel. I know that we are in a long-term in a sideways channel. So I'm going to search for channel and it's going to pop up. Here's all the tags I've used before. I know that we are currently in an ascending triangle. So if I search for triangle, I can see that I'm in an ascending triangle. And what I can also do is I just add in as many as I want to go for. So I haven't got zoom in here before. So as I just think of, you know, this would be, I want to start tracking this strategy that I use, which I call the zoom strategy. As I add that, it now goes ahead and adds a tag in there. So now I can just start using that tag against all of my other trades. How am I feeling about this one? Oh God, I'm not entirely confident because of these massive ripsaw moves. So I'm just going to log that. And everything you're adding on here becomes a piece that you can do analysis on later on. So I'm feeling very happy to be here with you today. You see this dev tools here? You're not going to see that. That's what I see. So I'm going to click on add in this case. And so now I am ready for as soon as when price breaks on the alpha. But you know what? I can see an ascending triangle happening here. I want to be ready for us to catch a break to the downside as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and add another trigger here. And in fact, if you were here earlier when Anthea was talking, this is very similar to what she had, which was a long if we broke to the upside and a short if we break to the downside. So now I'm going to come in here, add in another trade. I'm going to do this one really quickly, which is, which trigger do I want to look at? I want to look at a Bravo. And I could go for a short if we get a candle close through past Bravo. If we get a candle close below Bravo, let's take a short. But you know what? I'm kind of feeling bullish on Bitcoin tonight for the sake of our demo. So I am going to change my strategy here to be a bounce strategy. And I'm going to play cleanup on a lot of these drawings. Oh, there's so many of them. I want price to go up, and I have an incredible big bias about Bitcoin going up. Maybe I think I've got some insider information. So what would happen if we got a close above alpha? We would take the entry up to our take profit. But if we were to have a bounce down here off Bravo, that would give me a better entry to go all the way up here. So what I can do is I can change my direction to a long, and you'll see my take profit and stop loss switched around, but you can short in VEMA as well. And now I'm ready for, if price comes and hits my Bravo trend line, take the entry and go up. But what I don't want to have happen is, I'll get rid of this one. What if price was to do this and it just comes kind of close to Bravo, but doesn't actually bounce off the end of it? It didn't quite touch it the way I thought it would. So what I can do is I can put in a bit of a buffer zone here. Look, if you come close enough to Bravo, then I'm going to consider that somewhere that we should just say, look, let's front run what's going to happen here. So take the entry off that. But what I also want to see is a little bit better confirmation than close enough to Bravo. I want to see it hit Bravo and then reverse direction, give me better confidence. So I'm going to come to add condition and I'll set a distance to confirm here. And so now what I'm selling price has to do, has to come within 0.1% of our Bravo line, leave more than 1%, and then VEMA is going to say, there's my confirmed entry. We've bounced pretty clearly off that. Let's take the entry. So I'll come here and I'll add an expiry date because I want to have one of those. Whoops, that was supposed to be the drag tool over there. And great. Now, that means this is going to be happening in real time. I could also say, wait for a candle close. In this case, I don't really want to wait for a candle close on my bounce. If it hits my Bravo and then leaves pretty far away from it, I'm going to consider that there's my entry signal. Let's take it. All right. So the next part I want to talk about here is in the risk management section. If you want to be really quick about it, I can just move my stop loss up pretty close and I take profit there. And I could say I'm done, but I'm not done in this case. What I want to do is, if you look in the risk management section here, let's quickly pick on an account. You'll see that the stop loss is a value and the take profit is also a value. That means that it's just going to be a set take profit. So now we've got that same problem we had before. If we used a take profit and a stop loss of these values, and there we go, there's our indicative entry. Right now it's a 3-to-1. If we move this into the future though, and all of a sudden we don't get that bounce back off Bravo until way over here, we're now at a 0.85 for our risk reward, which is, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to take that. My minimum risk reward could take that. We'll just cut it off. But there's another way that I can approach this, which is, you know what? If we do want to have a fixed take profit, I could set my stop loss to be a dynamic thing. I know that I want it to bounce off Bravo. So I'm going to set my my stop loss to be somewhere on the other side of trend line. In this case, let's put it 1% on the other side of trend line. You know, let's put it 0.5, bringing it a bit closer. Now it's telling me warning, hey, cool, that's going to eat up a lot of your margin. That's fine for me for right now. And so that now tells me I'm going to have a dynamic entry price and a dynamic stop loss with a set take profit, which now means that VEMA is just going to take care of the stop loss positioning for me. And if my minimum risk to reward doesn't meet it, VEMA is just going to cut it off again. So that's cool. That's really, really handy. I'm going to add this one. I'm going to skip the journaling for the sake of time, but now I could go ahead and press submit and VEMA would be monitoring both of these in real time. And so that would be pretty great, but I would not, now I'm going to set up another trade on this. Two's getting a lot for me, but you know what, for the sake of a demo, let's do another one. Let's do a longer term one just for the sake of showing things. What we had our take profit on our cross that said it would take profit about here. What happens if we were to break past Charlie? But we know that if we have a break past Charlie, that's been a pretty solid resistance area. So we'd expect that we would see a break past it and then a retest. It would come back and retest Charlie before it shot off into the distance. So I'm going to get rid of all of these drawings and show you something that I'm really excited about. I've been working on for quite a number of months now, and we've just released it today. Get rid of this guy just so we can see what we're looking at. On the Charlie line, let's use that one for a new strategy. I'll set my trigger to Charlie. I want to go long on this one, and my strategy will be the break and retest strategy. And so in here, I love that little visualizer we've popped on there, which just says, here's the panel on the left-hand side for the entry, and there's what we're expecting to have happen in VEMA. I'm going to say if price was to get above 1% of Charlie, I could put a 1% and it just goes ahead and draws it in there for me. That's cool. So now what VEMA is saying is I need to see price come up above Charlie. I need to see a break on Charlie. And because I am using the 1 hour time frame, that break must happen on the 1 hour. So while we were talking earlier about the candle close strategy or the candle close condition, the break of break and retest must happen on the candle close. So that way, if you get a big giant wick that falls up and falls back down, no entry VEMA is not going to do it. And so cool. Now I've got a break. I can say, well, what constitutes a retest to me? Maybe it's not going to go ahead and actually hit it exactly. I could say a distance to activate of 0.1. So come close enough to Charlie. Let's go ahead and take the entry. But like we had with the bounce condition earlier, now everything from this, there's the minimum to set. Everything I'm going to do next is optional. I can say if I come back to retest, I don't just want to take the entry. I want to see that we go back up the other way. So I want to see that price effectively comes back to Charlie, retests and bounces off it really, really well. So I'm going to come to my add conditions. I'm going to set myself a distance to confirm of, let's say, 1.5%. And so now you can see VEMA's gone ahead and drawn the arrow to go up there even further for you. That my blue line was spot on was actually a complete accident. So now we're saying we must break 1% above Charlie, come back to retest our Charlie line, and then the price will leave 1.5% away. That will confirm the bounce. That will confirm the retest for me. And so VEMA would then go ahead and take the entry. Well, that's pretty cool, but there's a problem here. What if price was to come up, break past Charlie, and then just completely flop all the way down and just shoots down? And you go, hey, is that going to happen? Well, it can happen. It's happened here and it's happened here. So I want to be ready for that. I don't want to be caught out with a trade that is now not going to expire until well into the future, and then price comes up here and it's no longer valid. Like this is not a break and retest anymore. So I can come into my add conditions and add an invalidate condition as well. I can say here, let's go, if price breaks past Charlie and then comes back down to the wrong side of Charlie by 0.5%, VEMA is going to say, look, you had the break, but you didn't get a retest of Charlie, you had an invalidation. And so VEMA is going to terminate the trade again for me, which is another little wonderful thing that we can bring in. And then from there, I can really, really quickly get rid of that and this guy. Where would I put my take profit? Why this one's so good is because you can put your take profit like really close on the other side of Charlie if you want. The tighter you take profit, the better your risk reward is going to be. So here I've got a 4.62 to 1. If I move my stop loss back down past structure, looking over this part around here, then all of a sudden it says, well, now it's a 2.4. So by moving my stop loss away, VEMA is, oh, the risk reward got worse. And because I can say I have seen a bounce, a confirmed bounce for me, that tells me I can put my stop loss pretty close to the other side of Charlie. And so that gives me a better risk to reward. Hooray! But if it breaks and then doesn't retest and just falls straight through, it's going to cancel the trade plan for me. It's a wonderful thing. I love it. I would then come into my journal and say, hey, cool, we've done stuff. Price has gone really high. It's going to do a break and retest, and we're in a channel. This tells me we're breaking out of a channel. Really blasing my way past that one quickly. All right, and because I have multiple accounts connected to FTX, I need to just go ahead and pick on one of these guys. Let's click on that and add. All right, so now I'm happy with all of my setups. I can click on submit and press submit and leave them. We're off finally off the start charting screen. VEMA is just going to monitor all of these for me in real time, which is wonderful. So here is all of those individual setups that I had that I was looking at. I can click on one of these guys, break it into the new tab, and on this part here, I can see my original setup, everything that I was looking at here. So everything is fully still there, all my drawings, my other drawings, my all my different bits and pieces around the place. If I come to the journal tab up on the left-hand panel, then I've got my initial strategy and I've got my screenshots all taken care of. That was another bit that bugged me about trade journaling, was having to take screenshots and copy paste URLs. So we automated it. I closed that one. And now what I can do is, oh, I forgot to put my tags in, or hey, the trade has closed and finished. I can see what went wrong. I can put in some bad habits. I can see I've got some bad habits there. We can see that we've got a wedge going on. And so you can add your tags post the trades being done as well. You can put in there, what did I miss, and put those in as well. But we'll come back to that when we get to the analyze screen. I'm going to jump back to the dashboard. And we can see here that these guys are all monitoring. The cool one is position open. So this one here is in an open position and it's a little bit in profit. Yay, like 0.8%. You know what, that's a win-win, right? It's also got a little thing here, that a little icon that says this is a paper trade. So what I'm about to show you is admittedly a paper trade, but all these ones over here, they are all absolutely real. So I'll click on my XBT trade. You can see that this is on BitMEX instead of FTX, because it's the exact same VEMA UI across all of the exchanges. And now what I can do is, while this is actually in a live trade, you know what? I want to move my stop loss up, and it'll tell me, great, this is going to change your risk to reward. Well, because I have my stop loss where I was going to risk 1% of my account, moving my stop loss changes nothing on my risk to reward. Like the 1% was still back down where my stop loss was. But if I move my take profit, oh God, what was I thinking putting it up there? If I move this down here, all of a sudden I've gone from Anthea's 18 to 1, which I'm still impressed with, to my 12.7. What a measly trade. No, that's seriously amazing as a 12.7. And so I can change that, and bam, that's going to go ahead, tell the exchange, update the stop loss, update the take profit, everything's taken care of. I can then come over to my journal and I can add more notes on here. Woohoo, in profit. In profit. Amazing. To the moon. Profit. There we go. When I click on my journal and I submit that entry, it's gone ahead, added it to my log, and it's now in my screenshot here as well. And it's got all my drawings, which is really, really, really awesome. As you then leave and come back to the trade, I've just refreshed it. We remember your individual chart that you were doing. And so, well, let's make the happy face look happier. There we go. All of my drawings are still right there, which is awesome. And they're going to stay there. So come back in a couple of weeks and review your stuff in future, and all of your original analysis and your new notes are still there. Now, a very, very, very big thing for us is explainability. The idea of using other tools that have just bots that magically take entries and do this and you'll make money, they scare the crap out of me. I don't know how they work, and I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. And so one of the key things for us at VEMA Trader is the ability to have full explainability. If the system does something, I want you to be able to know why it's done it, and link it back to some event that's happened. So here we can see it entered the position. I moved my take profit, and so it's going to give me a full log of everything that's going on there. So every time you do anything, or when VEMA does something, it's going to leave a log here for you as well. All right, so this one here is open. Now you are always in full control of your trade. So you can at any point go ahead and click the close position button, which is hiding down the bottom. And if you were in a position that, well, if you were ready for a trade that hadn't quite executed, maybe you get an itchy feet, you hear some magic news and you think, yes, I want to take entry. you can go ahead and press enter position on this one straight away. So enter position. Do you really want to do this? This is a live trade, so I actually don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. But hey, if I did, it would go ahead and take the entry for me. Now, VEMA is going to do its full checks on that when you press enter position. It's going to say, what are your stop loss details? What's your risk to reward? Does this meet your minimum risk to reward? And because position sizing is a dynamic thing based on price and stop loss, I'm going to do my reposition sizing for you as well. So all of that just magically happens and all the orders get placed on the exchange. It's fantastic stuff. All right, so now it's been a while and I've had a whole bunch of trades happen in the past. I can then come along to the analyze section along the top. So when I click on analyze, I have got these cards here, which tell me how I'm going. So when I click on add analysis up in the top right-hand corner, I can make a new analysis. So demo analysis. All of the tags that I have added in my own, such as, hey, how many times have I done a bad habit by moving my stop loss too early, or my stop loss too tight, or my stop loss too close to the trend. I can look through all of the tags that I've been putting in there, and I've used quite a lot of them, and add as many as you'd like. But then we can also see, well, what are all of the ones that VEMA's been adding on for you? VEMA's putting on 16 other different tags for you against every single trade anyway. It's tracking, is it real money? Is it paper? What type of conditions did you have used there? So you can track how well do you go with candle close cross versus not candle close cross. How confident were you in all of these trades? Are you better at longs or short? Which exchange are you on? What intervals do you trade best on? There is loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff against all of these, and a lot of symbols as well. And so we're very detailed with what we can do with the analysis. I'm going to cancel out of that one and show you my parts. So when I look at how well does Richard go with his real money trading, he has a 27% win rate, which is pretty cool. His average risk to reward is 3.7. Takes about 95 trades over a 3-month period, which gives him about 29 trades a month. Hey, cool. All right, that's pretty interesting. Let's go and view trades. So not only can you see what all of the bits and pieces that happened were, the overall what happened, you can click on view trades and it will show you, here is every single trade that makes up that analysis. So here is my my Cardano trade where I moved my stop loss too early. Let's look at this crypto.com one, because this one had a pretty good one and it looks like it's a winner. Yay. So I can click on this part and then we can see what my original setup was. We can see what my original journal was if I came to the journal, and then I can zoom in here and it'll show me this trade has closed. And so what was I looking for? I was looking for a bounce off Charlie, which is this lovely line here. Bounce off Charlie, we had the bounce and then it's gone ahead and gone up and it's hit my take profit. So woohoo, that's pretty wonderful. And now today we have released another new feature as well, which is a redesign of our share outcome card. So if you wanted to go ahead and take this to social media and brag about it, great, go ahead, take your chart. It's fully interactable, so you can move it around and make sure you tell the story that you want to tell. I'll get rid of all these bits so it's a bit cleaner. And then I can go ahead and download the image or just copy to clipboard. And now it's ready for me to go to Facebook and press paste and share. One of the things that we didn't want to do, one of the things that we wanted to change is how people share their outcomes. So you'll notice here that this doesn't say it was FTX 20x leverage and I made 455,000%. Woohoo! It just says, look, this was a 3.2 to 1 trade. That was the outcome. That's what we want people to be focusing on as traders. That's really what's important to you. Or at least that's what we believe. And I'm sick of people having these things out there that check out my massively cool trade and it was actually a paper trade. So we're going to call them out on that so they can be live trades or not. And so to have this screen, it must have been a real trade as well. It must have actually, you only get this when a position is closed. So that's pretty cool. I'm really happy about these new designs. And we do have a referral program at VEMA as well. So if you refer people, we'll give you a discount off your subscription. And there is a little your QR code up the top as well. So this one is always going to be based on your username as well. So yay, it's going to go straight to you. All right. So what else do we want to talk about in this one? That is all of the, a quick run through of everything VEMA. One thing that I didn't talk about there is, well, how important explainability is, but how important it is that we want you to understand what's going on with the system. And so if I come here and let's really quickly look at this part, I can see I've got a resistance, 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 resistance. Maybe I want to do a break and retest over my alpha line right now. So I go long and I'll go break and retest. And now I might go, well, hang on, what were all those options and what did they do? So I can click on learn more, or I can mouse over every single input that we can put into VEMA, and there's always a nice little description of it or a learn more as well. So we really want to have all these tutorials so that you know what's going on and how to use the system. But if you have any questions, get in touch with us and we'll help. Absolutely. All right, so I've just clicked on the learn more button on the left-hand side. That's opened up to our support page. And every single one of those learn more things goes to a dedicated article for that topic with a video explaining it as well. So I'm going to shut that one there, or mute that one, and we can see the lovely Mr. Rhys McGavin explaining how the break and retest strategy works in a lot of detail. Not only that, we have all of the text here with big call outs explaining everything as well. So we really want to have you be in full control. VEMA just does what you tell it to do. You're always in full control. We want to give you the ability to control the system to meet your trade plan requirements. So there is VEMA in a lovely nutshell there for you guys. Gavin asks, will VEMA calculate leverage? Yeah, absolutely. We're on BitMEX at the moment now. Let's add a trade. I'll go long and break and retest. And I'll move my stop loss. Whoops, I'll move my stop loss up here, and I'll go to my risk management section. It's already picked my my BitMEX account, and I come down here with my stop loss, and it says that this would need a 400 contract position size with a 25x leverage. If I move my stop loss further away, you'll see that that immediately updates the position size and immediately updates the leverage as well. But my P&L loss remains static or very close to static. That should be 1% of my account. No matter if I move this really close, 12039, because we're in the tiny positions of contract sizes, it's going to have to play and make it a bit bigger. But we'll try and get that as close to 1% as we possibly can. I hope that answers the question for you, Gavin. All right, everybody, there is a pretty quick run through of VEMA. It's a very fast one. There's a lot more to go to it. Man, what I'm really excited about with break and retest here is that I can come and add, let's say, a descending line on this one. And then I can go, rightio, what I'm looking for is up. What I've noticed I'm missing a lot of the time now is a descending triangle on these before I break out. And so I look at that one and go, look, there's a break and retest on alpha. So I'm going to go add, I'm going to go long, break and retest. I'm going to give it a distance to confirm. A 1% break is required, a 0.1% activate, and then a 1.5% confirm. And now I've gone ahead and said, cool, I'm now ready for it to break, follow a descending wedge, and then get a break out of that one. So sweet. It's so easy to set all of that up as well. I just move my stop loss into position and my take profit into position, and I'm done. It's super easy to do it with them now. I love it. I'm just a bit proud of the team and what we've created over the past couple of days. Years, I should say, years. Been working on this for a while. Yeah, guys, that's it from me. Does anyone have any questions, or if there's anything I can help anybody else out with at all? Everyone should be able to unmute themselves. Gavin, I've just enabled you to unmute yourself as well. Put them in the chat or unmute, ask away. How can I help you further, guys? What I did forget to tell you is if you are interested in becoming a customer, which hopefully you absolutely are after seeing what you have just seen, come along to VEMATrader.com, click on sign up in the top right hand corner, and it'll take you to the choose your plan page. So VEMA is $99 Australian per month, or $990 per year. So that gets you access to all of the features that we have and all features we're going to have into the future as well. So in time, as we introduce more features such as staggered entries and exits, more exchanges, Forex stocks, tax reporting, those things we're going to be bumping up the price for. And so get in now, get it at this price. And as we increase the price and introduce more features, your price is locked in where it is, which is awesome. Speaking of the future, just really quickly, what do we have in planned for the future? We are not finished with what we've got to do by even the tiniest way. Oh my goodness. More exchanges coming on will be OKX, Bybit, Kraken, Binance, Coinbase. We have now released a break and retest strategy. Woohoo! We'll have an auto Fibonacci strategy coming. This one is actually pretty cool. It's getting late. I won't talk about it, but if you want to hear about it, I'd love to show you. It's pretty cool. Position scaling, awesome. This is going a good trade. I want to make my position bigger and add to it and then remove to it. People are asking for more and more indicators, which is one thing I forgot to show you. If you like the fixed range volume profile, we have been able to release that today as well. Awesome. I can't believe I forgot about that, and completely amazing tool. So if that's your trading style, awesome. That's now out as well. We want to make the data analysis much easier. At the moment, you've got to go and do the analysis on your own. We want to be able to just auto-analyze for you. Hey, you're about to set up a cross on a long on Ethereum, and you've tagged it an ascending wedge. Here's the last 10 trades that you did where you did that, and actually 8 of them were a loss. What makes you think that this one is going to be the one that's going to be any better? So, hey, cool, put it in your face. Let's get that data in your face to be able to automatically expose all of that, those analytics up to you. Group analytics, we want to do more partnerships around the place. We've currently partnered with MBA, who've been a wonderful people to work with. We want to do more group analytics. We want to do more mentoring functionality. So I want to have Donnie be a mentor to me. I'll let him access my trades as they've closed, and he can then leave comments and feedbacks on there to tell me where I went wrong, which is personalized feedback. That's a lot of fun. Forex stocks, indices, commodities, more exchanges. Forex coming at the end of this year, already working with 2 exchanges on that one, which is great. And tax reporting is a complete pain in the ass. Because VEMA knows every single trade that you took, and it knows the fees that were involved, or will know all of the fees that are involved with all of those positions and trades, and also the trades being open, what open interest, open fees were there. We can just go click this button and we'll give this full report for you to give to your accountant about everything you've done over the past 12 months. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming in the roadmap here, guys. We are not done by a long shot. We have got at least 5 years worth of more cool stuff to go, and it's only going to get cooler. We love hearing from our customers on how we can help you further. A lot of our customers give us ideas, and they are what really drives what we're going to be doing next. Our #1 feature request from customers now, apart from break and retest, which is delivered today, is the ability to have staggered entries and exits. So, hey, I've hit my take profit first one, move my stop loss up. I've hit my take profit 2, move my stop loss up. Now just let the final 25% of my position just be a trailing stop loss, and let's see how far we can take this thing. So that's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool stuff to come. I hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen, guys. I'm going to wrap up here and say thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, please fire away. Other than that, check out VEMA Trader. Go to vematrader.com, sign up and give it a shot. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to get me a drink.
Cheers, Richard. It was just an awesome presentation, mate. I sort of ducked in just to check out the break and retest feature, and it just looks to me like you've got an early adopter for life here.
Hey, fantastic, Gavin.
I can't wait to actually get, to get some skills with TA, because I just watched you put on 8 different trades inside of 20 odd minutes. That's just so impressive.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm going to show you something extra fun. I think this might be working for me today. So trade plan templates is something fun that I want to bring into in future. So I've got this lovely program here called Macro Recorder, which records all of my key presses and then can play them back to me exactly as I want them to. So I can cancel this setup, make a new one, start charting, go BitMEX, add trigger. Let's put a Bravo right there, add trade, pick on Bravo. And if I do this correct, I want to go for a break and retest long horizontal. And it's done. Hooray. So we want to make all this stuff as incredibly easy to do as we possibly can. Sorry, I cut you off there. I'm just really excited about that one. You say, hey, we can make it even faster in future, man.
That's I think with most people, the more efficient and the faster that you can actually make it, I think the better. So
absolutely,
people
man.
can squeeze more trading into their free time, and then have more free time available for life. So
once you get into the realm of just practicing everything and being able to just look at a chart, like I've been doing this for a number of years now, I can look at this chart and go, all right, cool, downtrend going on there, support straight around here. When you get to that point, you can just do it ridiculously quick. Oh, VEMA just takes all the hassle out of it. Just says, let me just focus on the TA, make it super easy, and then just let me get on with my day. It's really great, man.
Yeah.
So are you said, how long have you been trading for? Are you new to the game? Been around for a while?
No, I just sort of started learning about 2-3 months ago.
Okay, fair enough. Cool.
Yeah, with MTC, just gradually building some knowledge and skills. I'm still finding I'm still utilizing TradingView simply because there's a lot of indicators and things and
yeah, absolutely, man,
and all that. But then sort of translating it back to having the triggers on the on VEMA Trader. So large of my trading's just been paper trading to this point.
How are you doing your paper trading tracking at the moment? Like, you get the alert, are you actually writing a log, keeping a journal somewhere?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn some good habits, and certainly the journaling and looking back and retesting your strategies and things. I think is quite an important thing to find your own personal trading style.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're learning, you're trying to expose yourself to a lot of different styles. You're getting a lot of information coming in. You're trying to find what works for you. I think is one of the more important things. So then you don't have to
that took me about a year to figure out.
Yeah, I get that feedback a lot, and I think that's why I've been a bit hesitant to sort of just start live trading. So just sort of picking bits and pieces of people's trading style. And then sort of deciding what will work for me in the time frames, the sort of after work time that I currently have.
So here's a fun one. If you are serious about trading, man, and you've done your back testing, you think you've got an idea of what you should be doing now, just find me on Facebook, send me a PM, let's talk for a second. Because if you do back testing, it's one thing to do back testing and journaling and do the pain in the ass journaling. It's another thing to do live trading, but actually just pick paper trade inside of VEMA. And then instead of doing like live trading, do paper trading in a live environment. I found when I stopped doing back testing and I focused on paper trading in a live environment, instead not being able to just press the next candle and see what happened, but it took me to learn the emotions of trading and what does it mean to move my stop loss up and get so close to the take profit and it changes direction. Seeing that happen in real time will really change the game. So I recommend giving VEMA Trader a go, even if just for a month and trying on the paper trade. And if you are interested in that, man, I think you should send me a PM.
Yeah, definitely. I have done some paper trades, some live paper trades on VEMA Trader for sure. Awesome,
so, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. No, I love the new features. The look of the new features is amazing. So my TA is just going to catch up, I think.
I'm excited. I really love this break and retest thing we've got going on here. I'm excited to bring that one over to bounce as well, so we can just say, cool, now I want to visualize bounce as well.
Well, the fact that you guys are keeping it all visual, like the stop loss and take profit and entry positions there, that's, I think a lot of people are visual learners. So
yeah, we wanted to keep it as much as visual as possible because visual really, it's so much easier to explain something when it's a visual chart and it shows you all of that, as opposed to let's go and look at this break and retest and let's focus purely on the left-hand side. What does all these numbers mean, man? Like all of this is a bunch of gibberish gobbledygook, and then you've got to plotting it on the chart. What's 0.5%? Where's a 3% from there? If you can just have it all visual, just bam, there it is. It's so much easier. Speeds everything up for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
1, 2, that one there. Something else I was going to talk to you about, but I can't remember. Either way, hey man, it's a pleasure to meet you, Gavin.
No worries, mate.
Well, anyone else have anything else I can help you out with tonight? Doesn't sound like it. Awesome. Guys, everyone, thank you so much for coming along tonight. Hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or the team. You can reach me, richard@vematrader.com. We've got a VEMA Trader Discord. You can find us on Facebook, socials, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to do. Whatever works for you will work for us to speak. Get in touch, send us a message, say hi if you have any questions. Otherwise, get yourself over to vematrader.com, sign up in the top right-hand corner and get yourself signed up and get going. We want to help you kick ass at trading so that you can get out there and get winning. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. Have yourselves a lovely night.